All right, so Jason and I finished as much as we're going to do today on the new cut flower beds over here. So it's about 3:30, I think. And so what we've done is we got this, the cheap Amazon special. We got this set up and I moved all of the cut flowers in here. So the snapdragons and the stalk, and then we have the new potato bags, the 3 new ones that haven't sprouted yet, the parsley and things like that. So stuff that has already been out in the cold frame in the greenhouse. Even though we had a heater on in nights, they still have been much more tolerant to it, are in here. I took the onions out of the greenhouse as well, and so that's gonna allow me, with a nice cloudy day, to actually bring some of these tomatoes out. And if you've been watching the ones in the basement, which is some of these, all of these were in the basement, there's a lot left, have been really leggy. I did about 3 weeks of neglect on them, so I'm trying to recover them. They're looking a lot better now, but being out in real sun will help. But for hardening off, I do it a little differently than some. Granted, we do have the Hoophouse. I do have an electric heater in there, and we do have solar that we don't have to worry about the extra electricity. So all of those things change kind of how I do it. But because the 6mm plastic is actually a little bit of opaque, we will have some deflection of the UV strength going in there. Combo that with a cloudy day and with a thin layer, 1 or 2 layers of frost cloth, it will help protect these plants. I don't have to worry about wind, even though they had the oscillating fan on them. Because the Hoophouse is still closed up, we only have one door that we open on one side. It's not very breezy in there. So from hardening off, you have to think about highs and low temperatures, the swing of the temperatures, the wind, and potentially the rain or lack of. And so the Hoophouse helps me adjust that. So I'm not going to be bringing these in and out of the Hoophouse. They're going out here and they're going to go onto the table in here that we have set up. And once they're in here, they're in here. The only thing that I'll do is I'll actually put the frost cloth over them tonight, and leave the frost cloth on throughout the day tomorrow. It's supposed to be another cloudy day, which is great. And that will help with cutting down the amount of sun that's hitting them. So going from grow lights, or shop lights really, to the Hoophouse on a cloudy day with the frost cloth. And if it gets sunny at any point tomorrow, what I'll do is I'll come back and I'll double over the frost cloth over the top of them. So that's how I do it. In a couple days, I'll take the frost cloth off, and then it'll just be the plastic. And then from there, when they're ready to go outside, it's really not that much of a change, because we've done a half step, or actually 2 half steps, to get to this point. So they're ready. So similar with the onions from the basement, they went into the cold frame. Cold frame had heat at night. Now the nights are going to be about 40 for a low. High, I think tonight's 38 or something like that. So they'll be fine. They can actually take a light frost. They're getting used to the temperature swings and they're being very, very healthy. So no concerns there. So it's really about making sure that this doesn't get below 45 tonight. And that's why we've got the heater here. So I'll set it up. We'll get the frost cloth on them and we'll go from there. So I will check back in once I get some of these moved in. All right, so I have a good 3/4 of the table filled up. I've got Rutgers, Mountain Magic, San Marzano, which is a paste, Clementine, which is a small orange, a cluster tomato, Cherokee Carbons, and Big Beefs are all out here. And you can see they're definitely a little bit leggy. They don't look amazing, but I imagine, like last year, although last year's were much nicer before I moved them out, that in another 2 weeks or so, these are going to be gorgeous. Really full out, big, heavier stems, and just much happier having real sun. So it's amazing what that will do. So now I'm going to put tarp, or not tarp, but the frost cloth on it. It's pretty thin, but it has worked really well. I don't know what mill this is, or what density. I think it's like a P rating maybe on these usually. There's all sorts of different ratings. There's bug ones all the way to heavy fleece, I think it's called. I'm gonna probably order some more of those, but more frost cloth. But I think these will do pretty well. Again, it's pretty cloudy. It's mid-afternoon. They're gonna have a good few hours of sun, and we're gonna close the door so it stays really warm in here for the first night here. I'll put the heater on as well, and check on them in the morning. Using our tractor to move more tomatoes up to the hoop house, and also some summer squash I'm going to put in a grow bag up there. We'll say the big tool rack is really perfect for moving tomatoes. And I yesterday even put the tailgate down. So the first batch of tomatoes that I brought out yesterday afternoon look pretty decent. A couple small sunspots, but not too bad under the frost cloth. There's one that it looks like broke off back there that I just had to move, and then there was one that I don't know if it got just too much sun back there. It does not look good. Oh, it looks like the stem broke on the bottom, so that explains that one. So again, this is where I talked about earlier. I plan on growing about 25 to 50% more than what I actually need. So I'm just moving out a lot more tomatoes, and they're going to have some under the table too here. But what I did was I made sure the frost cloth would protect the southwestern sun in the chair here. So these might get a little bit of morning sun, but it's supposed to be partly cloudy tomorrow. And it's cloudy now, so they're pretty much in full shade right now. So I will check on these, and then I'm also going to move the heater back over and kind of aim it towards this area. Try to ensure that we're good there, but this is how I harden off my plants using the hoop house and frost cloth. It's a very thin, it's not a very heavy fleece at all. Use some bamboo stakes. Try to help both with the cold and with the sun. So in here, it shouldn't be under 45 at any really given moment. So even when our lows are in the mid to high 30s, the heater helps keep it pretty warm. So that is allowing me to harden off tomatoes without having to move them in and out multiple times with this quantity. And actually there's some more left still downstairs. It's Tuesday morning. Checking in on the tomatoes that we brought out over Saturday and Sunday afternoons. It's supposed to be mostly raining on and off all day and really cloudy. High of I think 56, 57 or something like that. So I wanted to check on the tomatoes this morning. So you can see a little bit of sun burning on the ones that were underneath, but really not that bad. They were underneath the table. In here, we've got a little bit of burns here and there. Not too bad with the frost cloth. So I think my plan will be to actually take the frost cloth off since it's supposed to be really cloudy today. Get a little bit of spot burns here and there. But for the benefit of not having to bring them in and out, I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna take the frost cloth off this morning. If it gets sunny at any given point in the day, I will come back out quickly and cover this table back up. I'm also going to rotate these so that the ones that are on the farther back area will start getting some more sun too.